we saw in GSL Group A and Group B, it was a lot of all-ins, a lot of cheese, hyper aggression, very little mid to late game. There was like one macro game, I want to say. There was like one like big macro game that we saw between the Terran and Terran in the TvTs. But outside of that, we saw a lot of cheese, a lot of aggression. And we'll see that translates here as well, as spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dreams and Scars, we have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player. We have the blue Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran for Team Liquid. It is Kyo. Let's go. Let us go. I see in chat, is this the finals of PiGosaur Cup? No, this is the semi-finals. Again, in the PiGosaur Cup, something that does set them apart from some of the other open cups is that their semis are best of fives. So best of five semi-finals. So we're in the semis back. The semis. And again, welcome to Dream and Scars. Dream and Scars, this was submitted in TLMC 21 and in TLMC 22 as well. Is a quote-unquote 4-player spawn map, but it does force cross spawns. So either you play top left and bottom right, or top right and bottom left. So you only have it only does force cross spawns, and each spawn location is a little bit different. Now for this spawn location, we have a high ground natural base. Okay, so we have a pocket. We have a pocket expansion here on the high ground that is available to us. Likewise, we do have our low ground expansions. Now I will say that the low ground third bases are much more difficult to maintain. The distance between your ramp and the third base is a little bit more difficult, as it's off to the side, whether it's here on the low ground on the right hand side or off towards the left hand side as well. A lot more exposed, a lot more difficult to maintain, for sure. A lot more difficult by design. We can see both players get their CCs on locations. We are both expanding in our pocket bases. As I mentioned though, like again, the third base location is very open, very exposed, very difficult to maintain, for sure. That was our big criticism of Dream and Scars in TLMC 21, if you recall. In the last season of TLMC. I mean, there are some pros and cons, sort of course. We do have the high yield gas base here at the northern third location. It is likewise difficult to really aggress upon, just because there's only one entrance currently. It does open up with these rocks. You can knock down these rocks and open up a second attack path in towards that low ground expansion. Otherwise, you can maintain the high ground and defend that location. True. Likewise, here on left hand side, the space is a little bit more secure here. I say that there are still multiple angles of attack. It's still a little bit further away distance by ground from your own main expansion, but we'll see how players open up. We'll see if we end up macroing if at all. We shall see. But now we have our 1-1-1 follow-up from our players. Oh, that I was not expecting. Okay, early mine. Sure, what's going on? I'm ready for it. Let's go. Meanwhile, we have a reactor to Hellion here out of ByuN. Okay, so hyper aggression out of ByuN. Hellions don't really have much of a place in TvT outside of early game aggression, early game harassment, and early game drops. Ooh, okay, add-on swap. I'm curious if we're going for the medevac or not. Add-on swap for the tech lab, going for the Raven. So a Hellion Raven here by ByuN. Again, this is designed to break into a base and break into a mineral line. At the same time, we do have Cure going for the early mine, but only singular Widow mine. Interesting. It's actually here, behind the gas geyser. So blindly preparing for drop play. Blindly being a little bit more defensive. Mine into tank. And we'll see what these Hellions can get done. It's going to be a lot of Hellions. Now, the issue that I find here, as we're getting up to 6 and potentially even 8 Hellions, this is a build that, if you recall, ByuN, Maru, and Percival were playing around with. This was a couple of weeks, if not like a month, 2 months ago. It's a really heavy Hellion count, but it's a high ground wall. Like, it's a high ground main. Like, how do you make use of all these Hellions without a medevac? Like, we're not going to break through this. Okay, like, am I missing something? Like, Raven does move in. Bearing in mind there is that Widow mine in position. Speaking of, oof, mine shot goes off. Raven barely survives on 5 HP. Raven pulls away. We have the mass Hellion coming in, but as we mentioned, it's one narrow wall here to get, sorry, one narrow ramp to get up into the main. Like, no shot. Yeah, Now there's another possibility here. It's possible that maybe ByuN didn't know. Maybe he wasn't aware, because this map is so unique and this map is not a common ladder map. We're also kind of learning it together here. The players are also kind of learning it for the first time as well. It's possible that maybe ByuN assumed that that Cure would take a low ground expansion, or that Cure would be like at a different spawn location. Yeah, we'll see if in the end all these Hellions, if they pay for themselves. Yeah, Cure, he's solid. Like he's perfectly fine here. He's set up outside of his expansion. ByuN is built up to his 3 Ravens. Does have his disable. Behind this, getting his third base on location. I still don't see him breaking this tank line though. I mean, maybe with Mass Disable, he can get himself the Marines, maybe. Speaking of, look at the Raven. The Raven taking a lot of hits. Mass Disable here on the tanks, and Hellions, can they break through? They cannot. Yeah, the Marines, they hold their own. They cut back to the tanks. Ooh, Mind Shot going up, Hellions going down, and with that Cure, he will shut this down completely. And yeah, the Hellion opener just wasn't worth it. It was we spoke about it. The 6 Hellions, in the end, they were not able to be used to harass, and likewise, even here in the main fight, they did struggle heavily against the Marines. And with that, ByuN has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Curie has momentum. And the issue here, after that lost fight, ByuN, how does he save his third? He doesn't. He cannot save the third base. Forced to lift. Forced to pull away. Third base is denied. And Cure can now claim his own. He's claiming his own on location. Thankfully, he's going to be going off. Getting within range of the add-ons as well. Nah, Stim. Yeah, within range of Stim. There's no saving it. It's not with this Sim City. Armor Shred here on the Vikings. ByuN, he will take the trade. Will come out on top. We have to cut back to the Marines. Oof. But Stim was denied. And ByuN is hurting. ByuN is hurting so much here. Going to be zoned further away. I mean, there's no ground support either. The Marines are now coming in. No, we just chase them down. Takes down the Ravens. 1, 2 Ravens will fall. Massive pickups. Vikings they got what they wanted. Reset the Raven count. Now, upon losing his own Vikings, I feel like Cure should be backing up from this point. Sure, he still has a high tank count, that is true, but now he has lost air control. Lost air control. Oof. Does move in. Diving on 2 more tanks. Not bad. It gets 1. Gets 2. Okay. Decent pickoffs. I was like, shouldn't we back off? He's like, nah, I guess it was 2 free tanks. It's fine. It's it's perfectly fine. Yeah, the production here has been so abused. It's been so exposed. But that's also a bit of a learning curve when it comes to these new maps, right? It's a bit of a learning curve when it comes to how to construct your SimCity, as add-ons have been punished. ByuN going for Viking harass. Turret's not done in time. Vikings, they drop in. Yeah, SCV's gonna be going down. Catching up 5 SCV kills. Nice damage being dealt. It's curious to sim in. Once again, 3 Vikings are not easy to deal with. Not easy, baby, not easy. Stims in, boys are being pulled. Oh god, a messy fight here for Cure, as he will lose 10, 11, 12 SCVs. 13? No, 12. 12 SCV kills, crazy damage. Technically, ByuN does take a worker lead, but he's heavily oversaturated. Like, he's not making use of his economy. It was nice harassment, don't get me wrong. It was good. But all the production had to float, and here we go, he's breaking out. Yeah, Stims down to low ground, breaks through the tank line. ByuN does break out. Oh, Cure, he's down to only 2 tanks. Yeah, Cure, the army is not there. Despite containing, he was doing an amazing job of containing his opponents. But Cure did stick around too long, he bled out too much. ByuN has the army lead. Away from the SSU scene for a bit. Is GSL back? Yeah. GSL came back this week. We were live casting it. We were live with GSL. Shadowcast the recast. Well, I guess technically true. This so we do have the rebroadcast of the Soup stream on Twitch, but that's tomorrow. That is going to be tomorrow. The way that it works is that because the event is organized, sponsored, and run by Soup, the live cast is only on Soup, and we cannot show the VOD of the stream anywhere else for 48 hours. So that's why the stream was last night, and tomorrow we get to rebroadcast to YouTube and Twitch. But there's a time limit where we cannot, show that VOD anywhere else. Only on Soup for 48 hours. Oh. And if you're a little bit newer to StarCraft, Soup is Afrika. Afrika TV, they rebranded to Soup like a year ago, 2 years ago. Relatively recently. They did rebrand. Now they're all made out of Soup. But that was, again, a relatively recent change. Secure is being active. Again, he's trying to counterattack. Alas, ByuN does shut him down. He's got a high marine count. Oh! Never mind, reinforcements have arrived. I mean, it's still quite tense. Cure was denied his third base, now expanding here on the top side instead. We're getting messy. Again, Cure was in such a commanding position earlier, but Cure, he's lost that lead. Has lost it. Going for the drop. ByuN likewise rotating as well. Looking for another way in. I will say that this space is very accessible just because it's on the low ground. It's going to be quite easy to abuse if you can knock down these rocks. Center Tower will let Cure know. As he's going for his own Doom drop. Heads into the main. Dives in. Yeah, dives into the main base. Takes down the tank. At the same time, ByuN does stim in. Ooh, and he takes down the CC. Yeah, massive pickup. Cure's out of position. Base goes down. At the same time, we're trading bases. We're trading bases. Cure does take over the pockets. Denies +3, but he's being cleaned up. He's being cleaned up here. ByuN, he'll shut this down. Takes down the tank, takes down the Marines, cleans up the Doom drop, and attacks across the map. Yeah, ByuN, he is fully back in this game. He now takes the lead. Kills the third expansion. Defends against the drop. Cure is now stuck on 2 bases. And Cure's being overwhelmed. There's going to be a window in time where Cure, he's going to have +3 over his opponent. That's going to be nice. That's going to be great. But that doesn't make up for his lack of economy. Doesn't make up for it. What does Cure need to do? Another Doom drop. Another counterattack. If he can get into a mineral line on the top side or the south side, if he can kill one of these bases, if he can cripple the economy and force ByuN back home, then there's a chance. But Cure, he can't just stay back. And speaking of counterattacking, let's go. He's making his way over. He's currently barely out of range of the Center Tower. He's out of range. Knocking down those rocks. ByuN, he does not see this. The rocks are being knocked down. ByuN has a vision. Cure sims in. Gets a free tank. And he should kill the CC as well. Let's go. Yeah, CC goes down mineral line as well. Massive pickup. As I mentioned before, applicable to both players actually, but this low ground expansion is so isolated and so vulnerable. And you saw both players just deleted in seconds. Kira's in this. He's 18 SCV kills and the expansion. Worker counts are very close. Oh no! Marines getting caught. Kira has to pull away. And he will get caught out. And nice catch here by ByuN. But again, SCV counts are very low for both players. Worker counts are low. Comparable army sizes. Once again, just like last time, so the game began with Cure having a massive lead, then he lost that lead, and then ByuN took a lead, and then he lost it as well. Like, like, oh no. That was the begin. Ooh, tanks are a little bit late to siege. Yeah, tanks late to siege, Marines they overwhelm, and ByuN is too much. He has far too much here, breaks through the siege line, takes out every single tank, and ByuN, he's going for it. At the same time, we're going for the base trade. We're going for the base trade, let's go. Send it, Pappy, send it. Curie's in the main. I mean, there was a main here at one point. Main base has been killed. Main base has gone down. Cure holding the line. Yeah, Cure has the high ground. Massive tank shots. Tank blows going up. Cure trying to buy some time here. ByuN breaks in. Johnny barely breaks in. Busts into the main base. Final tank will go down. At the same time, Cure is pushing into the pocket base. Would you have a hidden CC? True, there is a hidden base out here. There's a hidden expansion. Oh, ByuN heals on A move. There we go. Does start to step in. Curie still has some mining going on at the same time, so does ByuN. Yeah, this still has a base mining.
Base is under attack.
Curie is aware. Look at the army tab here. Curie, he has 34 Marines. He has a heavy Marine count at the same time. ByuN has a higher tank count instead. But the Marines, they should just be able to out DPS. They can hunt everything down. The damage output here for Curie is just so much greater, and he will hunt down the CC. He gets it. Ooh. CC goes down. ByuN turns around. Okay, no. Okay, saving the SCVs. ByuN, he does save his workers, but ByuN, he cannot afford a CC. So he cannot make another base. And again, like, it just takes so long to kill buildings here. He just doesn't have the Marine count. Doesn't have them. Not like this. Yeah, came to the production. Final buildings are being destroyed. ByuN is being revealed. And remember, Cure still has that command center, by the way. Like, he's still has the base out there. He still has mining, more importantly, just barely. And Cure should have this. He should have this. At the end of the day, Cure can just turn around. He can turn around, and Cure, he will win the head-on fight. As long as ByuN isn't pre-sieged. True. Like, there's a world where if ByuN can siege up his tanks and force a fight within range of his tanks and his liberators as well, then ByuN could win a fight. But if he's unsieged, then he'll lose everything. Alright, so still mining. Meanwhile, Planetary is morphing in. Reeling our hearts out. Orbital attempts to get away. Yo, shatters to the turret. Doing what he can. Boys, they also try to engage. Oof. And these SCVs, they should go down. They cannot out DPS the healing here on the Medivacs. Oh, one of Medivac goes down to the turret. Shattered to the turret. This orbital might actually just lead the Liberators to the hidden base. Yeah, you can see the orbital turn back around. He's like, ooh, I don't want to actually lead you there. Does notice. There is one ranks hidden. And Curie has to turn back around. He has to turn around. He has to fight. Here comes Cure. ByuN is down to 2 buildings. He has 1 floating ranks here and 1 hidden on the left-hand side. ByuN jumping over. As we mentioned previously here, if ByuN can force a fight with all his units sieged up, he can win. Oh, do we stim in? Does he stim? The tanks! He does! He stims in! Yeah, tanks on siege. He gets 1, 2, 3 tanks. 1 tank load goes up. Only 1. Quick siege. Yeah, quick load. Does lift. Heals up his units. 0 tanks left. Stims in once. Oh, calm down. Okay. Calm down, baby. Calm down. Cuidado. Yeah, Planetary does punish. technically we got that one SCV mining. Oh no! Cure finding another angle. Again, Cure, he has double the marine count. Sims in, gets a medevac, gets one. Picks off one medevac, and GG gets called. As mentioned, ByuN, he cannot fight head on, and Cure, he will take game number 1. He'll take a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Cure, he will take the game, will take a lead. Catching up with the chat. Still annoying watching a game that is over. If we didn't make it clear, Tingle Tangle 91, so I do apologize if we didn't make it clear, but there was a way for ByuN to win the fight. As you mentioned, if he could siege up his tanks and fight with his tanks and liberators, then he could actually win the head-on fight. The game didn't securely end until we saw Cure stim on top of the tanks. Remember, he was able to stim in, and he killed 3 tanks with only 1 shot going off. That was the moment where the game did quote-unquote end, unless you're referring to like after that moment. But that's why we were trying to emphasize on that individual moments. Remember that there were only 12 Marines for Cure. So if those tanks were able to siege up and get their volleys off, then ByuN would have won that fight. So do apologize if we didn't make that apparent. But here we go. We're going to be loading into game 2. Going to be loading into Storm Surge. Let's go. Let us go. Here we go. As up next, going to be loading into another one of the TLMC maps. There's a lot to get into here. Oh boy. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Storm Surge, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify down in the series, but it's the best of 5. We've got plenty more games ahead of us. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Let's go. I like this final stretches whenever unit counts. It was pretty intense. it was very, very intense. GG, Pappy, GG. And again, it was very back and forth as well, bearing in mind that initially Cure had the lead. Remember, Cure, the game began with Cure pushing out and containing ByuN on 2 bases. ByuN, he was losing, he lost Stim, he lost the Tech Lab, he lost his add-ons, he had to reposition all of his buildings as well. Like, ByuN was getting bullied. And then ByuN, he broke out. Cure, he overextended. ByuN was able to take a lead from there, mass expand to take his 4 bases, even snipe an expansion across the map as well. And then Cure sniped bases. Then we had that back and forth. We had that interplay in the mid game, which we did appreciate. But now we're loading in. Now we're settling the game 2, and welcome to Storm Surge. Now, I do want to make it clear as well that there are 2 versions of this map, and you might have seen one, depending on who you're watching, but bearing in mind that they are different versions, and one is not quite like the other. So there's a version of this map called Storm Push, and that does actually have a push and pull factor here with the current, with the water current here, with the tide, where depending on which direction your units are moving in, they get pushed, or they get pushed and helped and accelerated, or they get slowed down instead if they're pushing against the tide. So there is a version of that map, and that is called Storm Push. That is not the same as Storm Surge. Storm Surge is just regular. It's just a regular pathway. Bearing in mind that bear that in mind when it comes to voting as well, because this map did make it into the top 16 of TLMC, and you can vote on this map to be added to the map pool, to the ladder map pool, but bearing in mind that the version that's a part of the Team Liquid map contest doesn't have the speed up zone. As you can see here, it's just normal, it's just regular movement. But again, you might have seen some games played on this map where like the water actually like affects the movement of the units. That's not a part of the TLMC. The reason for that is because to actually make that that push and pull like feature, like to actually make that happen, they actually had to like go in and like modify some of the code and like make some more what's the word I'm looking for? Some more like invasive changes to the map that go against the like rules and the restrictions of Team Liquid map contest. So the TLMC, like, they have certain things that you can't do, like you can't like go in and like change certain values and do things of that nature to maps. Like, there are restrictions, and Storm Push does kind of violate those restrictions. Maybe one day, like maybe one day we can like petition for the TLMC to like alleviate some of those restrictions. I think part of that is just like, you know, just because like things could like break and they don't want to like break things and like add that to like the ladder map pool, and then things aren't working as intended or anything like that, or they don't want to mess with the game too much. Just bear that in mind when it comes to voting. As now we did open up with our initial ranks in the factory. We have our Reaper Hellion. Cure, do we line up? Oh, Hellion shots go off. Maybe we're gonna calm down. Maybe we're gonna calm down. Does pull away. When it comes to our initial openers here, our worker counts are neck and neck. We did have additional Reapers here for ByuN. You can see he's reinforcing with an extra 2 Reapers. So ByuN, he's up in Reapers, he's up in Hellions. There's a big commitment here going into Reaper Hellion, and the goal here for ByuN is to break through into the mineral line, and we'll see if ByuN can pull it off. Likewise, he has to be so careful not to clump up, not to add any extra splash damage. Speaking of, does dive in. It does dive in, does try to break through. And looks like he will break through the main army, getting into the Marine. Cyclone does arrive, but a little bit too late. Yeah, Cyclone is too late. SCVs are going down. Getting 1, getting 2. Getting up to 3. 2. Yeah, 2 SCVs and a mule. So we get some okay economic damage. Nothing game breaking here. 2 SCVs and a mule. And Cure holds. Cure, he does hold on. Bearing in mind that the downside of this build from ByuN is that he has no Cyclones of his own. Oh no. ByuN, he's forced back. Just now reinforcing with his own Cyclone. And Cure, he's massing up. Going to his own Ravens. Tank production is amassing. Is that a second? No, okay. The first starport's on the way for ByuN. Again, his starport was delayed in favor of the extra Reapers and extra Hellions. So in some aspects here, he's behind in terms of tech. In other aspects, at least he does have faster stim. So stim +1, a faster bio setup. But it's going to be lacking when it comes to tanks, when it comes to Ravens. I mean, that's typically how ByuN enjoys TvT, is being lighter on tanks, lighter on Ravens, and more heavy on Marine. It's a unique style that's unique to ByuN. He likes it, man. He likes it. Let's break in. Let's break in. No fun allowed. God. I mean, maybe they can allow for those things to be changed in the future, but at least for now, like there are certain restrictions for the TLMC. Cyclone does get caught out. Remember the water slide map? I do remember the water slide map. That was amazing. Feels Mapper's delight, man. It was crazy. As ByuN does slip past, he does slip past. He's got his double medevac drop, gets into the mineral line, and Cure is completely out of position. There's nothing here. Yeah, there's nothing here. There's 1 tank on the high ground. Marines, they keep pushing in. 16 SCV kills. And Curie's not getting any ground. Curie's not getting any ground here. Oh, I say that, jeez. ByuN coming in. Cure, he has to commit. Boys are being pulled. And we're going for another base trade. We're going for a pseudo base trade here. Boys are being pulled. SCVs are going down. Tanks, they still maintain themselves. Cure, he breaks through. At the same time, though, ByuN unable to push into the main. Oof. And neither player is. Neither player is. Both players, they take over their respective naturals. ByuN trying to break out. Oof. Tank shots going off. 1 tank goes down. 1 tank left. ByuN is holding. ByuN is holding on. Un poquito más. Yeah, now within range. Tank goes down, and ByuN, he defends. He defends his own natural at the same time. Cure, he has no natural to speak of. There's no natural. Down to 1 base. Down to 1 CC. His own would-be 3rd base is just now finishing up. And ByuN, he has the greater economy. He has the economy. Likewise, he has the army as well. You can see here, ByuN, he's up in Marines. He's still down in tanks and down in Vikings. He has that Marine count. I mean, hey, that was what we mentioned when it came to the build itself. Did sacrifice tanks, did sacrifice his Raven production for Mass Marine. And ByuN just has to hold. Just has to hold, survive, allow for his economy to actually kick in and snowball out of control from there. Just build up an even greater force. Shadow was a fun experience, but I wouldn't want it as a regular thing. I mean, it's definitely a fun feature, and personally, I wouldn't mind it being a part of the ladder map pool or being a part of TLMC, for sure. But I did just want to make it clear because I'm concerned there are people that are going to be voting in the TLMC that saw the version of the map that has that feature, and they assume that that's a part of it, and like they go in misinformed into voting. Here we go. Here we go. As ByuN is moving out. Once again, due to the greater economy, ByuN has built up a larger force. He's now even on tanks, 23 Marines. Despite that, pushing into this is still not going to be easy. But he's gearing up for it. His own third base is now finishing up. Curious still saturating his own natural. Now, when it comes to TvT here, at Cure, he is at a deficit, that is true, but the reality is that TvT is one of those matchups where you can be down 23 supply and still make up for it due to just purely positional play. That's the power of tanks, right? If you're able to get your first volley off and able to have the initiative when it comes to an engagement, you can still take a fight even with the deficit. So we got to be careful. That's also why TvT has a reputation of sometimes turning into like a turtle fest, and the armies just kind of stand against each other. The reason for that is because pushing into a sieged army, it's not easy. It's not easy. As Curious being active, ByuN does spot him. Who has a higher Viking count here? It is even. So 6v6. Curie does have his Liberator. Ideally, with a Viking lead, the Liberator can actually bully the ground army. We're going to be sieging up. Oh, it's going to be close. And ByuN is within range. Yeah, ByuN is within range. Oof. Despite that, 2 tanks here, greater than 1. Breaks through. Does break through. 1 tank goes down. Cure pushing up the ramp here, but ByuN's out of position. Oh no! Yeah, ByuN's out of position. He's racing on over. Tanks are exposed. Boys are being pulled. And that's a lot of SCs going down. He'll take down the mineral line, but the Marines, they come in and they clean house. Yeah, they clean up. ByuN, who will kill everything. He will cost him 18 SCVs, but ByuN holds. Oh gosh. It's not a clean hold, but he's holding on. GG. GG gets called. And ByuN ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. We're tied up 1-1 here. We're going to game number 3. Again, a very intense game here. We saw the Cure, I mean, he was down and out from the beginning almost, where the armies, they passed by each other. We were going for a pseudo base trade. We saw that Cure, he was able to get some economic damage, but he did not kill the natural. Meanwhile, ByuN, with his mass double drop, he did kill the natural base, killed the mineral line as well. ByuN took a lead early on. Cure, he still had a chance. He was able to take a fight towards the end of the game as well. We saw that technically Cure did outposition ByuN, but the heavy marine can prove to be too much. Like the mass marine just overwhelmed, just flooded on forward and broke through the tank line. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have a tied 1-1 series, but bearing in mind this is a best of 5, so we still have plenty more games ahead of us, plenty more games to go. We still have more ground to cover. As we are loading into game number 3, going to be loading into Lumen. Okay. This was a map that did not make it into... Wait, did it? I don't believe it made it into the top 16. Hold on. I need to see the map itself. Is this Talisman 2.0? I think it is. Yeah. This did make it. This did make it into the top 16. There's a lot to get into. Yeah. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Lumen, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran. It is Cure for Team Liquid. Este chanchito. I guess he came into the series early. It is very common to proxy Reaper. It's very standard to see proxy Reaper. I would imagine we'll see it once in this series. I would imagine. For now, we're going to be opening up, and welcome one and all to Lumen. Lumen is a rush map in the TLMC22 map pool. Did make it into top 16, is available for voting, or will soon be available for voting. And the reason why I say this is Talisman 2.0 is because it does have a lot of features that were introduced in Talisman. Talisman the map, not the board game. First things first, double gas opener at a ByuN, single gas opener at a Cure, but we do have our hybrid expansion here as a natural. You can see it's right next to the main base. There is a worker path coming down to the low ground. There's also a smaller mineral patch here that you can mine through to gain access to the low ground as well, to take this expansion as a first natural hybrid base. Otherwise, you can expand on the low ground here on the top side. It's a much more open expansion, bear that in mind, but we do have a natural as well. Otherwise, if you do take this more aggressive path, you can take this hybrid base, and bam, it leads into another hybrid expansion as well. So you can push forward, expand forward, and be hyper aggressive, pushing towards your opponent. Meanwhile, worker path into the main does get a free scout. Does get the scouter. Cure getting a CC on location does actually go for his more normal natural base. Again, economic opener, racks expand. Meanwhile, ByuN opening up double gas into a faster factory. And we'll see what natural base he goes for. We have been seeing players take their CC on the high ground and slowly mine through this and then eventually take it. Yeah, ByuN's going for it. The temptation is too good. It's too real. This Reaper doesn't move out. Reaper cliff into the main. Cure's out of position. Yeah, completely out of position here. We can just go for the mineral line. Oh, he's going for the production. Does disrupt the production. Delays the factory. Pivots back to the mineral line. I feel like we could have maybe have gotten an SCV kill if we had fixated on said mineral line, but regardless, Reaper pulls away. And we're building up. Aiming our command center behind this reactor Reaper Hellion, so a bit more committed here by ByuN once again. Committing harder into Reaper Hellion. And because we're committing so hard, we should be ideally looking to dive into a mineral line, to dive into this natural specifically. Oh boy. How much do we have? 3. So 3 Reapers, 2 Hellions. ByuN does move out. Does look to commit in. The Cyclone's only halfway done, which means ByuN, he can overwhelm. He can and he will. Yeah, dives in the army. Catching out 2 Marines. The Reaper as well. Gets into the mineral line. That's going to be 1, 2, 3 dead SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, heavy losses here for Cure. Losing 4 SCVs. Cyclone now arrives, and we're going for more. Oh, not quite. I assumed we were going to go for more damage, but no. ByuN does pull out, does pull away, and so far, a nice start for ByuN. Catching out 4 SCVs. With that, ByuN pulls away. ByuN, he still has to mine through those patches. Bear that in mind. I see, he has not been prioritizing those patches. There we go. Pulling one in. ByuN, he will have that boosted economy. He does have those gold patches. He's got him. And both players are heading in the same direction, with ByuN having that economic edge. Building up our tanks, building up our ravens. And we'll see how we move out from here. Bearing in mind that ByuN can still expand. There it is. Speaking of, he's going to be expanding forward, and he will claim another hybrid expansion. He'll have so many minerals to work with here, and especially considering ByuN's preferred style of TvT, going very bio heavy and very marine heavy, this will excel, by the way, to get a heavier Rax count and get into more marines. So this will lead into a very, very, very strong mid game here for ByuN. So building up said mid game. Likewise, Cure is claiming his own third CC. He's going for his own hybrid expansion, but as a third, not as a natural. Bearing in mind as well that Cure, he has not moved out. Like, he has not applied any pressure. He doesn't even know where ByuN expanded. Cure now moving out. Now looking to be active. Oh, can they catch up ByuN? Tanks are sieged. It's set up. ByuN scans. Confirms the production. Confirms the third CC here on the right hand side. So he's aware of the third location. At the same time, rotates towards the left. Finding his own way in. Does move in. Cure is on the low ground, out of position. ByuN the first to siege. Oh, within range of the production, actually. Oh my god. Yeah, free volleys going off. Rax is cancelled. ByuN, he does have a path into the natural. Barely can't quite make through. Nice catch of the reinforcements. Getting Marine, getting a Viking as well. Very nice. Oh my god. Catching out 2 Vikings even. Cure, calm down. Very nice catch out of Cure, but he does get surrounded. But this will delay. It delays ByuN. It does force him to back up. He does on siege. ByuN pulls away. Whew. Does pull away. Cure can take over the high ground. ByuN still maneuvering. Armies, they run into each other. There's a massive Sable. Catching out 2. That's 1 free tank. 1 free tank. Oh! Greedy moves there by ByuN. But he does get to another 2. Yeah, that's where they go. 2, 3, 4 tanks going down. Ay, ay, ay. Brutal losses there. Meanwhile, we have the counter disables though. Okay. Cure coming in from behind. Does come in, does catch all the tanks. We do trade. We trade back and forth. 4 for 4. Both players using their tanks. At the same time, Cure does give chase. And Cure, he does have the Marine lead. He's up in Marines. He's up in tanks. What does ByuN have? Ravens. ByuN, his Ravens are still alive. Vikings as well. I do favor ByuN's army in the long run, but short term here, Cure has so many Marines to work with. He can just stim. He can just stim and win, Pappy. Yeah, he scans. He sees how little there is to work with. There's 1 tank to defend. Second tank is coming in. And Cure's within range. Oof. Yeah, forces him forward. Nice target firing out of ByuN. They trade tanks, but the CC is denied. Yeah, massive denial here. Massive tank shots on the SCVs. 5 SCV kills. 5 SCVs go down. Curie's freely mining. Oh. He does break out. Shreds the armor. Massive connection. Sails on the tanks. And ByuN cleans up. It cleans up the army at the same time. Cure going for his own double drop. We're getting messy. Getting messy here. As ByuN is re-expanding. At the same time, the main base is vulnerable. ByuN does turn around. Drop comes in. Ideally, this would have been a distraction. Right? Ideally, we have a secondary army looking to push forward. Cure is deflected. Does at least catch a depot. Oh, going for the tank even. Okay. does barely get... No, he does not. The tank on 1 HP survives. Yeah, Curie picked up too soon. He picked up too soon there, so miscontrol out of Cure. Tank survives. ByuN holds. Cure, he was premature back. Too soon, too soon. Cure's moving in. As least Cure does maintain map control, claiming his other 4th base. Likewise, so is ByuN. ByuN is catching a marine count. Oh. It's catching him with the bio. Both players still posturing. Tank count still neck and neck. Interesting that Cure, he's not fighting for air control at all. Like, there's no Vikings. No Viking production whatsoever. It's something that he is foregoing. I believe ByuN still maintains his Ravens. These Ravens, they add so much utility to these fights. The armor shred. The disables. They do add quite a bit. As ByuN is scanning the Doom Drop. ByuN's ready. Cure, he knows he was scanned, of course. Cure pulls away. Surrounding the main army instead. Okay, Cure, he has potential. He scans, he sims. Yeah, he sims in, comes from behind, gets a mass around, and ByuN is caught out. He's caught out completely. ByuN out of position. Losing his main army. And we just keep going. Cure's maxed. Cure's maxed out. Making 10 Marines at a time. He's got 75 Marines. Keep going. Send it. Void's being pulled. Pulls back to the tank. And again, Cure, he should still take this. As he does barely take that fight. I say that reinforcements do come in. ByuN is holding. ByuN does hold, does defend, but it costs him 28 SCVs. So many workers went down here in the defense. And with that, Cure takes a lead. Cure takes a massive lead. Cure is still up in army. He's up in economy. Impressive that ByuN defends there, but at the cost of his mineral line. So he had to pull the voice to tank. ByuN, he does try to catch out the army, not bad. Tanks on siege, he gets one, he gets 2. Yeah, 2 tanks go down, throw a tank as well. Very nice catch here by ByuN. And Cure's getting caught. Once again, pulling back to the tanks. Getting messy. I still do favor Cure here, but that was a better fight for ByuN. That was a more efficient trade here for the Red Terran. Cure still trying to break through. Does with the expansion. Setting up his drop. Not bad. Denying mining. Oh, awkward pathing here by ByuN. Yeah, please have some Marines. Cure pulls back to the tanks. Has plenty to reinforce. But Cure still being overrun. He's being overwhelmed here, bleeding out 1, 2, 3 more tanks. Cure overextends, bleeds out the army. Again, just a really awkward angle of attack there for Cure, as he was just trickling in. And despite having more to work with here, again, these have been some rough fights for Cure. Even here, getting caught on siege again. I say that he does barely have enough to reinforce. Yeah, we're still trickling in. We're still trickling in. More tanks going down. Massive loss here for Cure. Once again, he'll lose everything. Yeah, Cure just getting overconfident, getting caught out in the open time and time again. Just rough fight after rough fight. Cure, we gotta lock in. We gotta lock in, badly. And pulls back, does siege. Whereas ByuN rotating over. Does find a tank. Remember, he just keep on pushing. ByuN, he does get caught somewhat here. Yeah, he's getting caught out. He'll lose all 3 tanks. Oof. You can see just how difficult it is to push forward into tank fire, like for both players. It's so difficult to gain ground and to pre-siege your tanks and get ready for these fights ahead of time. Pushing into tank range. Yeah, massive tank shots. Tank is going up, but ByuN, he does force his way through. We were lacking target firing there. Yeah, Curie did not target fire. Did not break through those tanks. ByuN not quite able to catch a tank. Not quite. ByuN going for the drop, gets scanned. Curie's aware. ByuN is affected. Liberation has arrived. Okay, let's go. Do you have any Vikings? Just 2. But Curie now has Liberators. Is going to be forcing Vikings out of ByuN. Still going for the Doom Drop, actually. Okay. Still going for it. Still setting up. Okay, going for the natural. Army is somewhat in position. Curie can react, and he will. Okay, Sims on over. Does it the CC. Nice lift. Curie moves in, and Curie, he will clean everything up here. The Marines, they do get away. Some of them do at least. And ByuN, can he keep this going? Curie's distracted here at the natural. ByuN moving into the bases. Gets a tank. Now, I assume that ByuN was going to be pushing towards the top side here. We have so many expansions for Curie. They're all on their own. They're all isolated. Drop back in. Get some tanks. Not bad. 1, 2 tanks go down. Oh, no, ByuN! A little bit late to react. Yeah, later to respond. Meanwhile, 7 SCVs go down across the map. Curie does 9 mining here at the southern base. Shatters the Liberators. That's ByuN's drops being cleaned up. Bleeding off more supply. ByuN pushing forward. Once seeing Curie complete that position, he's here outside of his 4th base. Yeah, completely out of position. That's what, 3 maxes. Production's exposed. Curie stuck on the low ground. And again, just completely caught out. ByuN stutter stepping in, pushing in towards the main. Are there any tanks here in the main base? There are no tanks. Oh no. Yeah, 0 tanks. The main base is completely forfeit. All the production's going to go down. 2 tank shots now pop out. Okay, tanks to get away. They barely get away at the same time. Curie's going for the base trade, but he's so late to the base trade. It's too late. It's too late, Bappy. As moving in towards a hybrid base. CC still going down. Curie going bottom left, which means ByuN his main base is still it's still viable here. He can still make a stand. He's got his main. And Curie turns around. Yeah, Curie turns around. He wants to surround this army. That is his best chance. Oh no! ByuN does force fight early. Claims a tank. Tank goes down, overwhelms the Marines. What's important here is that ByuN forced this fight before Curie got home. Like, ideally, Curie wanted to surround. Now he can't. Now he cannot surround the army. So Curie, he turns around, turns out with the, where are we going? It's a hard call to make. It's a hard call to make here. As the plan has failed, the plan to surround. Again, Curie trying to find a way in. At this point, it's too late. Okay, Scandals with the bases. I mean, Curie still has 3 bases mining. That's true. Still has no economy. Still has production. At the same time, ByuN is only on 2 expansions himself. But Curie is heavily supply blocked. And speaking of supply block, we can kill these deepest as well. Cury's got to be careful. Once again, who catches who? And does catch out 2 Vikings. Cure, currently at least, no longer supply blocked. His production is getting back up. It's rebuilding his production. Gas is just now being taken. As his will supply block Cure. Okay, stuck at 117. In the end, Curie was not able to engage. Looking at the main armies here, what do we have? Okay, so ByuN has a massive army lead. He's got 78 Marines and 8 tanks. Massive army lead. If given time, Cure can rebuild and replenish faster than ByuN just because of the higher base count, but I spoke too soon. We lifted the main CC. The main base floats over. Fresh mining expansion. And ByuN should be able to knock down one of these bases, whether it's top right or center left. Does find the production. Here, setting up the flank. For now, it's distracted. Planetary is going to fall. And I speak up. And Cure, how do we engage? What's the plan? Where are we going? Trying to go back and forth, a little bit indecisive. I mean, there's no easy way to engage here, especially into these pre-siege tanks. Does what the unsiege, okay?
Is under attack.
This is Cure's moment. He's coming in. He stims. He wants the tanks. He wants them. Oh, he cannot get them though. Yeah, he cannot get them. Tanks they siege up. Massive tank shots. Insane volleys. And ByuN overwhelms. ByuN, he will overwhelm. I say that he'll lose all these tanks. His first army does crumble, but ByuN, he has a secondary army building up behind this. Yeah, there it is. Here comes the second army. Cure, he fought well here, eventually cleaning everything up, but Cure, he has no economy. He cannot sustain. Cannot sustain. I say he has no economy, he has no production. That's a better way of putting it. The production's all in the air. So Cure, he cannot spend his money. Here comes the second army. The second force of ByuN stims in. Cashing out the tank. There's one tank left. Ooh, army did clump. He was clumping. And GG gets called. GG gets called. ByuN, he will take game number 3. Taking a lead in the series 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Does take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense back and forth here. Once again, even though at times in the early to mid game we had like an advantage for one player than the other, it just kept switching back and forth, right? We saw some rougher engagements for ByuN, then rougher engagements for Cure. We mentioned at the time, but it was very, very difficult for either player to push across the map. It was so difficult. Whenever they had a lead, whenever they had the advantage, they'd often get caught out. Take some worse fights, and the other opposing player would recover and have that back and forth dynamic. In the end, we ended up in a base trade. It did feel like Cure was a little bit indecisive. Unfortunately, he never pushed into the main. He never could, right? We saw that 2 tanks finished up early for ByuN. ByuN, he maintained control of his high ground of his own main. So when the base trade occurred, Cure, he killed the 3rd, he killed the 4th, but he could not push into the main base, and that's where the base trade kind of ended for Cure. Meanwhile, ByuN, he just snowballed out of control. Took over the main, took over the production. GG. And with that, oh, there we go. With that, ByuN does take a 2-1 lead, and now we're getting ready for game number 4. Going to be loading into washouts. Okay. I'm still on the fence about. I mean, we'll see. I'm still on the fence about washouts as a map itself. I haven't seen too much mid to late game on this map, but that all might change here and now, assuming we don't proxy. Well, we'll see. Es the AVEX map. Yeah. What time is it at AVEX? What time is it? I'm gonna predict 4 AM in the morning. Get some sleep, you animal. But there we go. Spawning in the right hand corner of washouts, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify, leading the series 2-1. It is ByuN. 3:38 AM. Oh my god. Get some sleep, Pat. Get some. Hi. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, going for the proxy 2 axes. 1, 2 SCVs get sent across the map. We have the South Korean Terran play. We have the blue Terran. For Team Liquid, it is Cure. And the trend continues. I've still yet to experience a mid to late game on Washout. I've yet to experience it. It just hasn't happened. It's never gonna happen. God damn it. As Raxes have been thrown down, and ByuN, we are going for a more economic start. Oh boy. So things are looking up here for Cure. Cure again going 2-Rax Reaper, setting up his 2-Rax Reaper, and ByuN is going for a Rax Expand. Economic build here by ByuN, going for a faster CC, going for a later gas, and going for a later factory. This means that ByuN is going to be vulnerable. He's going to be vulnerable. There's going to be a window in time where if ByuN, if he reacts a couple of seconds too late, then the game can just end. The game can just end. Essentially, what do we have to do here? One, ByuN, he's not going for the SCV scout. I believe with his first Reaper, he should be checking the nearby proxy location. He might check with the SCV as well. The moment that he realizes something is wrong, he needs to pull back, pull away, preserve his Reaper, make sure he doesn't lose it ahead of time. Get ready to pull the boys to protect the factory and to get that factory up and running, get the Hellion up and running as well. But now there's that CC on the low ground. Again, ByuN is yet to confirm anything. You can see the rally though. Yep, there it is. You can see that first rally with the Reaper is towards a proxy location. This is very common. It's very, very common here, and ByuN will find it. Assuming he doesn't re-rally. No! he re-rallied. ByuN, you were there. You were checking. Por favor. He might still rotate back to the left-hand side. He's checking the right. He's checking the right-hand side instead. He does check the right-hand proxy location. Now moving over. SCV thankfully will give him a couple of seconds to react. There we go. Now he knows. Now he does know. Now he's aware. There's a cancellation. GG. Yeah, GG, well played. He was going for the reactor. He was going reactor as well, so only one Reaper. GG, no defense. And with that, we're going to the ace match. Ay. GG, well played. Again, very unlucky there for ByuN. ByuN, he was rallied to scout it earlier on, but no, he did re-rally his Reaper. Likewise, he went Reaper into CC on low ground into Reactor first before getting any additional units. He had nothing to defend. GG. That's TvT. That's GG, well played. The Gamba did pay off here for Cure, and now we're going all the way to game number 5. Let's go. Let us go. TvT on the patches map. True. Not like this. I mean, to be fair, that's TvT on any map, okay? Don't think that that ByuN, Cure, Maru, Bunny, and the others are above proxy 2-axing on any map. They're animals. No. They're all animals. As we are getting ready here for game 5, the final game of the series, we're loading into the ace match. Let's go. We've made our way all the way to the final game of this best of 5, and spawning in the bottom side of Mothership, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran. For Team Liquid, it is Cure. Start giving patches a hard time. True. It's all good. But here we go. We're getting into the ace match here. Bearing in mind, this is the semifinals of PiGosaur Cup. The winner of the series will advance on to the grand finals. There's still one more series, one more matchup ahead of us here. And who will it be? Who will be that Terran player in the finals? Will it be Cure? Will it be ByuN? For now, we're opening up. Welcome to Mothership. Mothership is a larger map, longer rush distance by ground. There are more bases to check, of course, as well, as it is a 3-player small map, so there's a little bit of RNG factor to it. Cure opening up double gas, so very, very safe play here by Cure, going for a double gas opener. Meanwhile, ByuN going for CC. Goes CC first. ByuN, he does not care. He's crazy, man. He's crazy. CC first, but it's on the high ground at least. So there's a little bit of a safety precaution here, going CC first on the high ground. Not as greedy as he could have been, but this is still greed. This is still hybrid greed here by ByuN. Likewise, does go for the Rax swap into the Gas Geyser as well. You can see the dichotomy between two different Terran players here. ByuN being hyper greedy, Cure being hyper safe. As again, double gas means faster factory, means faster Hellions, means a delayed CC at a Cure. So because of the builds and because of the openers of choice, there's a lot of pressure on Cure to get damage done, right? Cure, just naturally because of the builds, Cure is behind, economically at least. He is behind. As ByuN will just have a faster 2-base saturation. Faster mule as well. True. Faster mules. Even here, ByuN going Marine first, so he doesn't really care about scouting either. No SCV scouts, no Reaper scouts. Not concerned. Stuck at 117, same as my MMR. Ahí está. Why are you acting like you even ladder, Pappy? Go to hit the ladder, Pappy. Hit the ladder. Where's that replay submission? SMH my head. Ah. God damn it. As from here, Curie does move out. And bearing in mind he is yet to scout the positioning of ByuN. As Curie, he will find him. Okay, true. He does find him ahead of time. ByuN, he is setting up at the high ground. He's got the 3 Marines here in position. He will shoot first. Oh no. No, Curie checks. He checks the low ground. He sees nothing. He believes that ByuN is top left. No shot. God damn it. Este ByuN. Ay, ay, ay. True, the mind games, Swappy. That's the real reason why I got the CC on the high ground. True. The mind games. He's like, what the hell? It's like, where are you? What's going on? Goes in, there's nothing here. Massive delay here on the aggression, and ByuN is able to expand. Not just that, but he buys enough time for the Cyclone. Cyclone is here, bearing in mind that if Cure had pushed in towards that southern side earlier instead, if he had gone here first, this Cyclone would have been too late. Cyclone would have been late, Marines would have gone down, and damage could have been done, but ByuN buys enough time for now that Cyclone to defend. Reapers to dip in. They have the mineral line, Cyclone does lock on, and they'll get 1, maybe 2, 3 SCV kills. Yeah, 3 workers go down for 4 mules, sorry, for 4 Reapers, I should say. Hellies International, still good damage though. Still nice damage, 6 SCV kills. Can we get 7? Can we get 8? Ooh, they line up towards the end. Very nice shot. 8 SCVs go down, and what is crazy here is that Cure now takes a 2 SCV, no, not even. But that's how far ahead ByuN was. So 8 SCVs go down, and now we are even in workers. This was very necessary damage. Very, very necessary damage here by Cure to get into the bases, to get into the mineral lands, and to kill those 8 SCVs. Despite that, ByuN still has the edge as he was mining more for longer, and he's had extra mules for longer as well. So ByuN still has a slight edge over Cure, but he has done some good damage to even things up. Whew, okay. Speaking of, 3rd CC, okay. 3rd CC here at ByuN. Building up into the mid game, and we'll see how Cure will approach this. For now, just fixated on tank production. Tanks, Ravens. Working on Matrix. Cure does push. I did some another one. Did you guys ever cast it? I know that Steel and Cure, I think, did they cast it? I think they did. Maybe they didn't. No, I don't think they did. True. They'll cover it next time. They got you, baby. They got you. Oof. As we do have an auto harass into the bases. Getting 5 SCVs. Yeah, 5 SCVs go down. Nice damage here by ByuN. Cure looking for another way in. Remember, he has 2 disables. That's 2 disables. Cure setting up. ByuN going for a drop at the same time. Uh-oh. ByuN, he's not going to have much at home to defend. Yeah, there's not much at home. Cure moves in. He does spot the CC. And ByuN commits. ByuN, he does commit across. Now we're going for the base trade. Let's go. Yeah, we're heading across back at home. What is it to defend? There's 1 tank. There's 1 tank at the natural. The main base is completely exposed. ByuN, he does drop in straight into the main. Straight for the factory. Okay, he's getting himself with production. At the same time, Curie's still outside of the main. Marines, they stim in. He gets a tank. Oh my god. Yeah, takes out one of the tanks. Picks up, denies mining. 2 SCV kills, and Curie still is not gaining any ground here. He's doing nothing. The army does nothing. No. Okay, there's Disable. Disables the tank, moving in. Boys are being pulled. And ByuN, can he hold on? He's going for the tank, and he does get it. 1 tank goes down. There's 1 tank left. And he gets the 2nd tank as well, and ByuN holds. It's a messy defense here, but ByuN, he will hold on. 13 SCVs go down. GG gets called as the drop of the main is not dealt with, and ByuN, he will take the series 3-2, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. They're both animals, by the way. How many times in this series did we enter this same situation where it was like a quote-unquote base trade, where both armies, they pass by each other and they just hit each other's bases, and then everything just got chaotic and snowballed out of control? Happened like 4 different times in 4 different games. It was crazy. But GG, well played. Again, we saw that ByuN, he dipped and he dropped directly into the main base of Cure, able to set up his tanks within range of the production and the mineral line as well. So a much more threatening position there for ByuN. Meanwhile, Cure, he pushed and he set up outside of the base. What could he really do? He was threatening the CC. He was threatening the 3rd CC and a depot. He wasn't really dealing or threatening any critical damage, so it took him longer to push in, longer to react, and longer to do anything with his main army. By the time he did, ByuN just pulled the boys. He pulled the boys, he barely held on, he cleaned up the army. Meanwhile, ByuN was never dealt with. ByuN, he was never dealt with. GG, well played. Whew. And ByuN, he will advance on to those finals where he has his next opponent ready and waiting. It's going to be a best of 5. It's going to be a best of 5 here once again, but this time a grand finals match between ByuN and Hero. Oh boy. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. So take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. We're going to be back soon with a best of 5 between ByuN and Hero. See you for the finals. See you soon.